Psychologist David Kolb felt that people perceive, notice events, and then we process the experience in order for us to make sense of new information. So this tutorial is going to help you in taking a learning style inventory that at the end will teach you a little bit more how you learn, the what if, the why, the what and how, and different learning styles. So some people especially prefer to perceive through feeling. Others like to perceive by thinking. And some people prefer to process by watching, and others like to process by doing. So let's see what is your learning style and see if it's a combination of all of them, one or two. Is it thinking and feeling? Is it watching and doing, or just watching? Well, definitely I want you to watch this tutorial to assist you in being more successful in completing the learning style inventory. So let's begin. So our first slide is our LSI1, and you're going to find it right after page 41 in chapter 1. So you have 12 questions, and in each question you're going to have 4 subset questions. So for instance, our example right above, it asks us, when I learn, I am happy, I am fast, I am logical, I am careful. So you have 4 questions and you're going to have 4 numbers. So if I feel that I am careful when I learn, then I might have to put a 4, which is most like me. Maybe I'm not fast, so maybe that would be least like me, so I would put a number 1. I only use the number once for every row. Okay? So, before we jump into our learning style inventory and you begin answering those questions, I do want to let you know that you need to remove a sheet that is between LSI1 and LSI3, and it looks something like this. So you have to remove this sheet in order to begin answering your questions. So once you remove this sheet, the next slide, you should have LSI1, and right next to it, or right after, LSI3. So when you're answering the questions, you're going to print firmly, so the number that you put for each question transfers to the next page like a carbon copy. Okay? And then once you finish answering your questions, you're going to add all your F's, your brown, all your W's, all your T's, and all your D's. And you're going to get a grand total. Okay, so far so good. Next, we have our LSI3, and you're going to read a set of instructions that are right here underneath scoring your inventory, so please be aware, and it's kind of similar to what I was just sharing with you. Okay, so now we have LSI5. Once we get the score for each letter, we're going to plot it on this graph. So if I have, for instance, 50 points for letter F, then I will plot that 50 on this line. And I would do the same for the total for my W's, the total for T's, and the total for D's. Next step will be to create a graph. So I will draw a line from one point to the other to create my graph. And my graph might be more towards the green or the orange or more towards the blue. It all depends on how you answered your questions. Next, on the back of LSI5, you're going to find LSI6. And I would like for you to spend some time reading, interpreting your learning style graph. Depending on how you answer your questions and you plotted your numbers and you got a graph, your graph is going to look like more towards the upper right or the bottom right of the graph. Each one represents something. So take a moment to read it. Okay? And here's the bottom of the page. So if it's bottom left or upper right. So for instance, the last mode on the upper left is more of a doer and a feeler versus someone who is on the bottom left. Okay, so you can spend some time reading. Now there's an LSI 7. You will not be submitting this to your reading instructor, to me, okay, but just to let you know. However, on the back of that page, you're going to learn more about your learning and discovering how you learn. So this will be on the back of LSI 7, and it's balancing your preferences. So take a moment to read each mode. So we have mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, and mode 4. It's very similar to our graph, and we just make it a circle, right? Okay, also notice your lines going across. Am I a feeler? Am I a watcher? Am I a thinker? A doer? And look at your strengths. Look how much you do with this mode and what other people do with it. And once you complete your learning style inventory, you're going to be ready to put all your thoughts and the information that you got in this learning style inventory in a journal entry, which is listed in your week 3. But also the great thing is that you're learning more about you and how you learn and why and what and how. And we're going to be off on a good start. So read happy, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.